guys, and welcome back. Last week on the show we touched a little bit on some of the personal protective equipment that I use in my shop and that you should consider using in yours as well. Today we're going to carry on with that in part 2 of PPE, personal protective equipment. So let's get right into it, and I hope you enjoy this week's video. First off on the list of the PPE for this week will be this little guy right here. Push pads. You can make your own. You can get them commercially made, as this one is, but these things here are an essential when you're using your jointer planer, running larger cuts through the table saw. Anything that you can get to keep your hands away from those blades is a bonus. And although some will argue that this is not PPE, I disagree, and you guys really should be using these. So they're a couple bucks a piece and they're well worth their weight in gold. Feather boards. Again, a commercially available one. This was given to me actually as a gift. It's kind of a cool little thing with releasable magnets that are built right in. They're actually pretty strong and they hold on to the cast iron bed of the table saw really well. Whether you're using one of these commercially available ones or you have something like this, this guy's a behemoth that I made for my bandsaw, and it's seen quite a bit of use but no kickbacks. The feather boards basically are an essential tool and a part of your PPE in order to help prevent kickbacks when using your table saw. It also helps to keep your stock flat against your fence. Of course, we have the wonderful world of push sticks. Anything that can keep your fingers away from this little dangerous guy right here is a good thing. From commercially available ones that you could buy for a few dollars to your homemade ones that you can put together in your own shop, these are essential when using a table saw. You can see this one here has had quite a bit of use. I usually use it for through cuts, and eventually I'll run this through the jointer and straighten it out. This one here has a removable plate that's replaceable at the back, and you can see this one here is well past its prime. It's ready for that one to go and replace this plate. As well as these ones here, simply made from 3/4 plywood with a replaceable walnut block at the end. These are a great little push stick, very comfortable and very easy to use. You can see here, this one's seen some action as far as saving my fingers from a nasty gouge and a nasty cut. That could have been my finger if I wasn't using this stick. And as well, these ones here have seen some action with some gouging from the table saw blade. You don't want this to be your finger. Let these things take the damage and of course keep your fingers intact. One of the other items that I consider as part of PPE is this little homemade fella. This is a spring hold down to keep your stock flat to your table while cutting, and you can see it's got quite a bit of spring here, and this nut and bolt coincide with the track in my table saw. That way I can put it in and I don't have to concentrate on holding the stock down. I let this little guy do the work so that my thoughts can be concentrated on keeping my fingers attached to my hands. Who knows, maybe on a future episode I'll show you guys how to make one of these if you'd like. It's a great little unit, works well. Usually when I shoot these videos, it's when I first get out to my shop, and in a lot of cases it's cold when I first get out here, and that's why a lot of you will see me wearing this kind of stuff. But believe you me, it's not a good idea, and once the heat gets up warm enough in the shop, I'm down to a t-shirt. Long sleeves and rotating high-speed tools do not mix. They don't mix, and I had an episode quite some time ago with my lathe that decided it wanted my sleeve more than I wanted it. So trust me on this from personal experience. If you're in the shop and you're working with high RPM tools or anything that spins, do yourself a favor, protect yourself, roll up those long sleeves, no baggy clothes, long hair and ponytails or well out of the way, and keep the baggy clothing away from the tools. Here's another way to protect yourself. A lot of us use the router table, and sometimes we have to route some smaller parts. Whatever you do, don't get your hands in there. Use a hand screw clamp to grab a hold of that piece and hold it for you while you're routing. Your hands can be well away from the router bit, and let this guy take the brunt of the bit should there be a mishap. It's a lot easier to replace one of these chunks of maple than what it is to replace one of these. For me to go through all the ways to protect yourself in your shop would be absurd. There's no way that I can keep track of all of them, and there's no way that we can do them all the time. I basically just want to make you aware that shop safety is very important in what we do, because without it, you're going to find yourself in some trouble. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's video. I hope I've inspired some of you to maybe take more care, both with protecting your digits, protecting your respiratory system, and, working things a little safer in your shop. It's something we all take for granted sometimes, and I tell you, it only takes 1 second to slip it up and lose a finger, damage an eye, or over the long term have hearing loss, lung problems, anything like that. So take care of yourself, keep yourself in check, and keep enjoying your hobby. Now, I've had some complaints that I'm not working fast enough on this guy, so I'm going to get right back to it. Thanks for watching this week, guys, and I'll see you next week. If there's a video suggestion that you guys would like to give, or a video that you'd like to see me do, drop me a comment in the comments section, and I'll see if I can't put something together. I appreciate all your subscriptions, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again for watching.